Hey, this is Matt once again. Welcome back to another video, and this is another request from my good friend Efree. He requested a couple Blu-ray reviews. If anyone wants to request any type of reviews, topics, reactions, re-reviews, lists, pretty much any type of video, you send a request either directly to my PayPal or join my Patreon. Both things are down below in the info box. And next up is a review of the Blu-ray of Bustin' Loose. This is the Richard Pryor film from the early 80s, once again from Tino Lorber. Like I said before, Tino Lorber, their packaging is pretty much the same. 2 pictures, info of the features in gray. The disc is pretty blasé, no artwork or anything. Now, Bustin' Loose, before I get into the features, the movie itself, like most of Tino Lorber's films, I don't mind the picture quality. I'm not a picture quality aficionado, but the few times of Tino Lorber, like a Deep Rising looked a little bit dark. And I have to say, even the Mill Creek Blu-ray looked a little bit better than the Deep Rising, although that does have a lot of cool features. I guess technically you can mess around with your TV, with the brightness technically, but again, just one of those things like Deep Rising seemed a little bit dark and Mill Creek seemed a little bit brighter, which made the film look better, which is sad because it's Mill Creek. But again, I'm not a picture quality aficionado. There are many people who do that much better. I just had the Bustin' Loose DVD that was from long ago, and I thought the picture quality looked better here than it did on that old DVD, so that might not be much praise. I always thought this was a weird poster. I mean, this is the theatrical poster, that's why Tino used it. But look at this poster. This is a film. Okay, it's an R-rated film, but it's a film where Richard Pryor takes a busload of kids from point A to point B because he got arrested. Of his deal is he's got to help these special ed kids. Again, they go from point A to point B when this children's home gets closed. And it's R-rated Richard Pryor, but it's also sort of a kid's guy. Look out for these kids. A little bit of the softer Richard Pryor later on. But the way to promote it is with the Ku Klux Klan. Now, this scene is in the movie, and it's a pretty hilarious scene, but it's weird that they base the whole marketing on this. Again, when you see that cover, but then when you watch the film, it was about him with a bunch of kids on a bus. I think there was a different signal, so I'm not sure about the marketing in the film when it came out. But the film itself, I'm a Richard Pryor fan. My favorite is See No Evil, Hear No Evil. I love Richard Pryor. I miss Richard Pryor. One of my favorite comedians. I love his stand-up, whether it be Here and Now, Live on the Sunset Strip, live in concert. And like I said, See No Evil, Hear No Evil is my favorite movie of his. But even of the other films, Brewster's Millions is okay. The Toy, I like The Toy. I know it's weird. They bought a black man for the toy of this rich kid. I guess the best way I would put it is, if you took the same film, you put a white guy, I don't think anyone would say anything about it. And I guess that's whether my naivete. I can see how nowadays you look at it and you go, well, that's fucking weird. But I like Richard Pryor. I liked his friendship with the kid. One of the lines I say all the time is from that film. Tough titty. But the toy I can watch for what it is. Again, I know it's weird, but maybe because I'm a Richard Pryor fan that I can enjoy for him. Even Superman 3, I enjoy it. And he's one of the reasons why. But this one, I always thought was very funny. I thought a lot of his interactions with the kid was rather hilarious, but he also had some nice acting moments where he tries to get to know the kids or tries to help them through their troubles, like a kid who's always trying to start fires, and you find out he accidentally did something bad with his parents, and it was a mistake. But I'm not going to go too in deep because it's not a review of the film, it's more a review of the Blu-ray. Like I said, the picture quality I thought looked a lot better than the old DVD I had. Trailers, you had trailers for Bustin' Loose, Blue Collar, which was a Richard Pryor film a few years before this. Much more serious film with him, Yaphet Kotto from Alien and The Running Man, and Harvey Keitel. And you had trailers for I'm Gonna Get You Sucker with Tina Ivory Wayans. You also had radio spots for Bustin' Loose. And then you have a commentary. That's really the main feature, is this commentary by film historian and critic Sergio Mims. Now, I wasn't a fan of this commentary because I don't understand, again, why. Like, okay, he says, I wouldn't say it's his greatest movie, but it's fun. But he really doesn't talk much about this. Well, that's not fair to say. There's a little bit of the film okay, that's not even fair to say, too. He does talk about a little bit of the production of the film. And that was the part that was most interesting to me. But it takes a while for him to get to that point. Because for the most part, this is him talking about as like a biography of Richard Pryor. That's really what a lot of the commentary is. Now, if you're a Richard Pryor fan, you probably already know most of this, so I guess this is more for anyone who doesn't know who Richard Pryor is. Because he talks about how Pryor's history, he was abandoned when he was a kid, abandoned by his mom, he lived with his grandma at a whorehouse, he was abused physically and sexually, and like I said, I can't even complain about the Richard Pryor filmography because, again, if you don't know a whole lot about Richard Pryor, which a lot of people probably won't because, you know, he's passed away a long time ago, and a lot of newer, younger people are not going to know who this guy is. So maybe they collect. There's a lot of people who do collect a certain Blu-ray company, no matter what it is. Even if they've never seen the film, even if they don't like the film, they'll collect just to collect. And hey, I've had another of this company's Blu-ray. Have you seen the film? No, but they collect it anyway. So maybe it's more for them. It takes a bit for him to get into the actual film, because a lot of times, like I said, it's about Richard Pryor's life. Now, some interesting nuggets. Cicely Tyson, who is the female lead, at first she turned the movie down because she wasn't a fan of Pryor's vulgar humor, but ultimately took the role because it seemed like there would be some softer moments for Pryor throughout the movie. The credited director is Oz Scott. And it's one of the things that got annoying with this commentary is he would bring up something interesting, but then he'll go, I'll talk about that later. I'll talk about that later. I'm like, it's about this film. I get you doing a Richard Pryor biography, but just talk about this film. Like, I understand if I did a commentary on this, I would talk about Richard Pryor as well, but there's not a lot where he's talking about what's on screen or thoughts on screen, or the one bit of info other than the Cicely Tyson one is it was shot in the fall of '79. Oz Scott was the director. The film was showed. Reshoots were ordered because the studio and others said, don't know about this movie. They can't do the reshoots because by then, Richard Pryor had gone on to do Stir Crazy. He was in the middle of doing that, so they had to wait to go back and do reshoots for this. Now, the reshoots, they hired a different director, and that was Michael Schultz. Michael Schultz did Which Way Is Up and Grease Lightning with both with Richard Pryor, among other films. I believe he did The Last Dragon. And apparently Michael Schultz, who's not credited here, he wanted to reshoot the entire film. He thought it was that bad. And the studio's like, nah, we can't do that. So Stir Crazy got finished. And soon after, before he could do reshoots of this, he had the freebasing accident. Now, the Monterey doesn't mention the fact that some people think that's how, like, Richard Pryor tried to kill himself. Because the freebasing means you take cocaine, you put it in its purest form, and you smoke it from a pipe. And the way the commentary says it is he might have fell asleep and he caught on fire. But he never mentions, but I remember hearing some people thought he tried to commit suicide. That's never brought up in here. I don't know. But anyway, they had to wait to get him back to do reshoots. That was the most interesting part of the commentary, because I did not know about that. It was nice to hear at least a little bit about that. But there's not much detail. Like, well, what parts did that second director reshoot? You don't know. He doesn't know. And apparently he has talked to Michael Schultz. I'm like, if you're doing a commentary and you've talked to Michael Schultz, how about you ask him, which parts of the film did you reshoot? Like, which parts of this, how much did he reshoot? Did he reshoot 50%? Did he reshoot 80%? Did he reshoot 20%? Did he reshoot the ending? Did he reshoot, like, what did he reshoot? We don't know. So that was irritating. Again. But at least a lot of it is about his life. He does throw in something when you get to this scene where he goes, I guess they're going to a Trump rally. Yes, I said it. And I just rolled my eyes. Like, I don't even like Trump. But the fact that he had to put that in there, it's like, good for dating the fucking Blu-ray, man. Like, you know what? I don't like Donald Trump either. But don't say that shit on a fucking Blu-ray that's now forever. And so 5 years down the road, if someone listens to it, Trump, like, all of a sudden that whole just putting it like, come on, man. I know this is stupid coming from me, but be at least a little bit more professional. But whatever. Considering you're a film historian and critic. Well, to be fair, if I did commentary, I wouldn't be professional either, so I shouldn't talk. He tells more about Richard Pryor's life, and he goes into the 80s. He pretty much craps on his 80s movies, especially The Toy. Doesn't say much about Bruce's Millions, at least nothing good. Completely craps on The Toy. Seems like he said that's Richard Pryor's worst film. See No Evil, Hear No Evil, the only thing he says is, it's got a couple funny moments. Doesn't mention critical condition. He just briefly mentions moving. So, I don't know. This is a commentary that at times it seemed like he took a while to get to the fucking point. At times it's barely about the fucking film. Like, it says more about Pryor's life. If you don't mind that and you want to hear someone talk more about Pryor's life and once in a while talk about the movie, what I said is what he talks about the film. And he wonders if the whole finale with the chase scenes, if that was Michael Schultz. That he's guessing. He doesn't know. Like I said, he barely talks about the film. It seems like he would rather have been doing a commentary for Which Way Is Up or Grease Lightning, which is his two favorite Richard Pryor films. Blue Collar is another favorite. I would say that's his top 3. Silver Streak is never mentioned, which is weird. You would think Silver Streak would be mentioned. I don't even think he says his opinion on Stir Crazy. He just says that, it got made. So yeah, that whole thing about the first cut, reshoots, Michael Schultz had to wait because I did finish Stir Crazy, and then his accident, which to me got the best joke in Live on the Sunset Strip. Says, you people love me anymore. What's this? Richard Pryor running down the street. when he flicks strikes the match. What's this? Richard Pryor running down the street. To me, the best joke of his stand-up. I mean, the guy is obviously a big fan of Richard Pryor, and I just don't see any reason to really listen to this commentary unless you want to hear someone just reminisce about Richard Pryor. Which makes sense, but I guarantee you, my friend Michael Keane, Choice Voice, he could have done a better job on this commentary. I guarantee it. If Michael ever sees this, Michael Keane, great friend, all he had to do was find out that little bit of info. I tell it to Michael, he would have done a better commentary on this than this guy, in my opinion. So, take that for what you will. And it's sad that there's no other features. I guess he likes the film because he says, it's not the best movie, bro, but it's fun. But he doesn't really mention what's fun about it. Like, he never really mentions, well, that's fun, and the characters, like, he never really goes into that. I mean, lo and behold, it's only a commentary on the fucking film, but... And there's no interviews, nothing from back in the day. I would say, I'm glad I have this because I'm a fan of the movie, and the picture quality looks nice than the shitty DVD I had. And this would be in my top 5 favorite Richard Pryor films. Like, See No Evil, Hear No Evil was number 1. That's up there. What else would be up there? Let's see. I like Stir Crazy. That would be in top 5. Yeah, it's hard. Because I like quite a bit of it. I like Critical Condition. I like Moving. I could relate to Moving. I might throw those in there since it's like, people badmouth those films. And yeah, I enjoy them. But yeah, take that for what you will. So, with that said, thanks for watching. Take care. We'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.